New information about the man the Secret Service says had an AK-47 on the golf course where the former president was playing golf in Florida. And good evening, everyone. I'm Bill Ritter, in for Joe Torres.
And I'm Tanya Rivero. The former president is safe, and federal officials say the suspect is now in custody.
This comes just 2 months after a bullet grazed Trump's head during an attempted assassination at a campaign event in Pennsylvania. And this latest scare comes days before the president is set to hold a Republican rally here on Long Island.
Watching all the developments for us tonight, Eyewitness News reporter Josh Einiger. Josh.
Well, Tanya and Bill, the former president cheated death again tonight when a Secret Service agent somehow spotted the barrel of an assault rifle poking out from a hedge as he played golf. Agents opened fire on the suspect, who fled before his capture about a half hour later, and multiple law enforcement sources identify the suspected shooter to ABC News as 58-year-old Ryan Routh. They're looking into his grievances related to the war in Ukraine as a motive for why he'd try to assassinate the former president. Tonight, crime scene trucks clogged the road outside Donald Trump's Palm Beach golf course shortly after his motorcade sped away to safety. The former president, the target of what the FBI says appears to be the second attempt on his life in just 2 months, an attempt foiled by an eagle-eyed Secret Service agent sweeping the course just before Trump would pass through.
The Secret Service agent that was on the course did a fantastic job.
Trump's latest apparent brush with death happened just after lunchtime. As he was playing around, his Secret Service detail was one hole ahead, and an agent spotted the muzzle of this assault rifle poking out of the bushes.
And he was able to spot this rifle barrel sticking out of the fence and immediately engage that individual, at which time the individual took off. Fortunately, we were able to locate a witness that came to us and said, "Hey, I saw the guy running out of the bushes. He jumped into a black Nissan, and I took a picture of the vehicle and the tag," which was great.
Minutes later, deputies on I-95 a few miles to the north recognized the SUV from the BOLO, or Be on the Lookout alert, and boxed it in on the side of the road. The would-be assassin in custody without incident.
I mean, think about it. They're stopping a car. The BOLO is for a suspect who had just fired at the President of the United States with a tactical rifle. It does not get scarier than that.
All of this almost exactly 2 months after the attempt on Trump's life in Butler, Pennsylvania. Since then, the Secret Service has come under withering criticism, its director forced to resign, and it did increase coverage on the former president. While agents did spot the threat in time today, the agency will now have to answer even more questions about why another heavily armed assailant managed to get just a few hundred yards away from the man they are sworn to protect.
The threat level is high. We have increased the amount of assets that we've supported, so we live in danger times.
Live in dangerous times indeed. The suspected shooter, again identified to ABC News as Ryan Routh, is being held for questioning right now in Florida. Charges not yet filed in an investigation that's only just beginning. A case all the more disturbing because Trump's golfing day was not on his public schedule today. In fact, sources tell ABC News his decision to travel to the golf course was made at the last minute. So how did the shooter know Trump would be there? It's just one of so many questions so far unanswered. Tanya?
Josh, thank you so much for that report. And the next time we will see President Trump on the campaign trail is Wednesday on Long Island. The former president is holding a rally with other Long Island Republicans inside the Nassau Coliseum. The Coliseum seats 15,000. And earlier this week, officials said they expected an overflow. Nassau County Police Commissioner Patrick Ryder says he will make sure the building is secure and one of the safest venues in the country. A news conference is scheduled for tomorrow to discuss some increased security measures. Meanwhile, the fact that Mr. Trump was targeted on a golf course poses some unique security concerns, including when the former president is on his course in Bedminster, New Jersey. Now, this is video from Newscopter 7 last June. We know Mr. Trump likes to ride in his own golf cart alone without bullet-resistant glass. Typically, agents ride several yards away in their own golf carts. We'll see if that now changes.